My parents bought a new house last summer. This ornate 1927 cast iron bench was part of several furniture pieces the previous owners no longer wanted. My dad did spray paint that cast iron black before bringing it to me in pieces to give it an upgrade. Now, my dad spray painted this fairly recently, but I can see that there are areas where the paint has already started peeling and chipping off. In order to give this bench a new life that is going to last for years to come, I first need to give it a good sand. I'm not looking to remove the layers of paint that have been applied throughout the years. I just want to get off any peeling areas, smooth them out with a 100 grit sandpaper. And here you can see the almost 100-year-old manufacturer's mark from 1927. This was the only marking on this piece, so I couldn't find any information on it while I was researching. If you know anything about this type of mark, please let me know in the comments. I'm really curious to know if that 50 means this was the 50th bench made. Here's a look at the seat cushion in its current state. I'm not sure what happened to the red fabric in the original photo, but assuming this is why it was reupholstered at one point. I believe this green fabric is the original 1927 material, which is so cool that it's still somewhat intact. I am heading to meet Mom at Joann's. We're going to pick out some fabric for this bench. We need to also get some of that like foam cushion so that it's a little bit more comfortable. You guys saw how totally ripped up that one is that's currently on there. So we need to replace that and then pick out some beautiful fabric that's gonna match her bedroom. So see you in Joann's. So I completely forgot to record while we were looking around, but here are the two fabrics we are looking at that will go nicely with my mom's bedroom. The one is a little more florally and has some flow to it, while the other looks a little more simple in a crosshatch pattern. This is the one that we landed on. Such a beautiful, like large, ornate, florally pattern that's gonna go really nicely in my mom's bedroom. And then we also got the foam. So this is gonna be the new foam piece for the seat of the bench, and we got 2-inch thick foam so that it's nice and cushiony and nice and soft when you sit on it. And then for the color of the wrought iron, I was gonna do black, and then I was gonna be like a cream white. Actually, I'm gonna do this heirloom white color over top and then distress it back a little bit so you could see the black underneath. But after seeing this fabric and then also the colors in my mom's bedroom, she has more like rich browns as opposed to like blacks or anything really dark. So I ended up getting, I had this London gray color, and then I also grabbed espresso, and I'm gonna kind of spray them both on my like table here, my little work table, to see which one might be better, because I'm not sure which one. I think it could go either way, honestly. I'm thinking the darker one is gonna show through a little bit better. With the heirloom white, it's gonna be a little bit more of a contrast compared to the London gray, but I do wanna see how both of them are going to look. I really love the London gray color. I felt like it was the perfect neutral brown tone to go with the fabric. Now, I know this is called London gray, but it definitely is more of a grayish, not a true gray, and kind of takes on the tone of the pieces around it. So if you have more gray cool tones, it looks more gray. If you have more warm brown tones, it looks more brown. While the spray paint is drying, I started working on the seat cushion. Remember what that thing looked like? Pretty beat up, but I also can't get over the fact that I'm touching something that has survived almost a century. But let me tell you, as I started taking the fabric off, you could tell it was aged. It was so brittle and just tore apart super easily. I had to get this black cover fabric off in order to get to the staples underneath, or at least what I thought would be staples. There were no staples holding the fabric in place. It was true furniture tacks. They did not cut corners back in the day. I can only imagine how long it must have taken to nail in each one of these tacks. Even the wood piece is original. I promise I'm gonna stop gushing over all of these original materials, but it is so cool. I tried prying up the tacks, but they were too tight against the fabric, so I needed to remove that fabric so I could get under the tacks. And since this fabric was so brittle, it just tore right off. Now I can get under the tacks. I'm using a chisel here, don't ask me why, but a flathead screwdriver would work just as well. And I did not pull out every single tack, only the ones that were sticking up out of the wood. Once I got all of the tacks I wanted out, I flipped it over to remove that old fabric and padding, and you guys, look at this. I'm not sure if this was just straw or horsehair, but I know they used to use horsehair back in the day as padding. This stuff was also tacked down, and I had to rip it off. It was still pretty secure down there, and let me tell you, this made a mess. Now it's time to give that padding a serious upgrade. I'm using 2-inch high-density foam from Joann's. You can buy this by the yard, and I set the wood for the bench upside down on top of the foam. Then I traced around the wood board with a Sharpie and cut it out. I just used my fabric scissors to cut the foam. This worked fine, but I'm sure there are better tools out there to use. I was also able to use the one foam square and cut 2 sides out for the seat. Once everything's put together, you aren't going to see or feel that this is 2 separate pieces. Next, I hot glued the foam down to the wood, and I also hot glued the 2 pieces together in the center. I did have to hold the foam, squeezing it together while the glue cooled. Now I can add the batting. This part is super easy and just helps to clean up the look of those jagged foam edges. You don't want to pull it too tight because it will pull apart, but pull it tight enough to have a smooth look and then staple it down and cut off the excess material. Next, I can add the final fabric that we chose, doing the same thing as with the batting, smoothing it out and then stapled it down to the wood. This fabric is pretty thick and forgiving, however, it does not have stretch. So when I got to the rounded ends, I had to get a little creative. I didn't want the whole end to look like a fold, so instead I made 2 smaller folds right where the seat starts to curve. To finish off the bench seat, I wanted to add some trim to the bottom. So I got this twisted cording and glued it down along the edge. I didn't want to use my hot glue because I was afraid that would not hold up well over time. So I used my Starbond super glue with the accelerator that instantly dries the glue. Okay, let's go back to the cast iron parts. So you can see the spray paint I used has a sheen to it, which is not the look we're going for. So I sprayed it with a matte sealer. We currently have no power. So I want to get this bench finished because I want to give it to my mom this weekend so I can film the reveal of her, like her reaction to it, and film it in her space, and then have time to edit this video before it goes up. So Sarge and I have set up shop. Huh, buddy? Sarge? Huh, buddy? Yeah. We've set up shop here on the front porch so that we can try and get the white wax going on top of the like painted surface that I've already done. You helping? You helping, Sarge? Yeah, checking out what we got going on? Oh, buddy, you helping? I'm a big helper. Yes. Okay. So we got our Dixie Belle Best Dang wax in white. This is what I'm going to use to dry brush like over top so we can bring out all of the details on this bench, along with like all of this beautiful ornate detail everywhere. I just want to be able to, you know, showcase that a little bit better and then make it stand out. So got my paper towels here to wipe it off. I got my little wax brush, which I don't know how I feel about this brush. It's from Walmart. It's cheap. I don't know. We'll see how it goes on this project. I can tell you, I am not a fan of this wax brush. It sheds like crazy, but it does do the job. Here you can see how it looks with the white wax compared to without. The details really pop with the wax on, however, it was also changing the tone of the paint. So disappointing. It was leaning much more gray now. I do love how the wax made the manufacturer's mark stand out even more though. But I kept going with the white wax and finished up this piece. We are packed up, heading to Mom's. We're gonna see if she likes the bench. What do you think, Mace? Is she gonna like it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah? She's gonna love it. All right, let's go see you at Mom's.
Now let's get this thing set up, all right?
Hold up. Before we get Mom's reaction, you might notice that the bench is a different color. So after looking at it for a few days after I had it finished, it was just looking way too gray, and I knew that wasn't gonna go with my mom's bedroom. So I redid the entire thing, doing the same exact process of the paint and the white wax. I just used a darker, deeper brown that was gonna go with her bedroom a little bit better. All right, let's get her reaction.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh, so you left that?
I did it dark. So
It's so cool.
I thought the white would be too, it wasn't gonna look right with the.
Oh my gosh,
wow.
it's perfect. It
That's
looks,
beautiful. Oh my.
it looks, what word do I want to use? Like old, like
Yeah,
it's worn.
vintage.
It is.
Worn.
It's vintage. Beautiful.
Antique.
Antique,
wow,
vintage. Look at how beautiful it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
It kind of matches with this thing.
And it's perfect.
It pulls everything together.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh my gosh, what a great job.
Screwing all the way in, it's fine, you can stop. It was not recording that whole time?
No, I'm gonna do.
Yeah, it was. Oh, it just stopped?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's okay.
I've stopped.
No, it wasn't recording that whole time.
Oh no.
Oh, after I asked you to turn the music off, it wasn't recording.
Oh no.
Oh, should we do it again?
We can do it again.
We'll do it again.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did my phone too, so I at least have something.